Welcome back to another episode of the Scran Line. I'm Nick. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Kawaii cactus cake. Now Kawaii means cute in Japanese, and that is what this cake is. It's super kawaii and it's super delicious. So really easy to make, guys. It's probably about a medium level difficulty wise, but it's more of a patience type thing with the decorating sections of this cake rather than it being like hard technically to make. Anyway, let's get stuck into it. We're going to begin with the cake. Before we get stuck into the cake, I want to quickly remind you guys to hit that subscribe button and make sure you hit the little bell icon next to it as well, because I love it when this community grows. So if you're watching and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, it's free. We're going to add our flour, sugar, baking powder, salt into a large mixing bowl. You want to mix that until it's well combined, and then you're going to add your softened butter and mix that using an electric hand mixer or a stand mixer until you reach a crumbly sand-like texture. Next, you want to add your eggs, oil, vanilla extract, milk, yogurt, and you want to mix that until everything is really well combined. Now this cake is pink, so we're going to use some pink food gel to color it, and we're going to add some frozen raspberries in there as well because we want this to be a raspberry flavored cake. I'm using a spatula to fold that in there until everything is really well combined and evenly colored. Now this cake is going to be made with two 6-inch cake round cake tins and then a 6-inch half sphere mold cake tin. You can grab these at your local cake supply store. We're going to spray these cake tins with some oil spray and line the bottoms with some baking paper. You want to split the batter amongst the cake tins evenly, filling them up about 3/4 of the way. We're going to pop these in the oven and bake them for about 60 minutes. Once they're finished baking, let them cool down completely. Now guys, I know that I've always said that I've got a no fondant rule on this channel, but I'm breaking that rule because I've decided to not say no to things anymore. So we're going to be using fondant to make the kawaii face of our cactus cake. Now, rather than me sit here and explain every single little thing that's happening, it's pretty self-explanatory on screen what's happening. I'm using different colored fondant. You can color these yourself or you can buy them ready color made, but all of the instructions and the color combinations are in the written recipe, which is on my website. So once you've got all of your kawaii face put together, let it dry for about an hour or two. You want to let the arms dry overnight, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Now with the arms, we are putting some cake pop sticks in there because this is going to help them stick into the cake and stop them from just drooping down. Our cakes have baked beautifully. I'm going to trim the top off using a large serrated knife. We're going to pop those aside and we're going to color our buttercream frosting. Now for the buttercream frosting, we want to aim to get it roughly or as close to the same color as the cactus arms, so that way everything blends in. If you can't get it close, it's completely fine. Mismatched still is going to look great. It's time to put our cake together. So I've got an 8-inch cake board and I'm using a cake turntable today. That's going to make decorating and filling this cake really easy. We're going to add a blob of buttercream frosting on top of our 8-inch cake board, and then we're going to pop our first 6-inch round cake on top. You want to press that firmly on there to help it stick to the board. Then you're going to pipe a ring of frosting around the top of that and fill that in with more frosting. And you're going to use an offset spatula just to smoothen it out before you add the next layer of round cake. Repeat that with the frosting and add your half sphere cake on top of that to finish it off. Now that we've got our cake filled, we're ready to crumb coat. So crumb coat is basically trapping the first layer of crumbs into the first layer of frosting so they don't show on the final layer. So you just want to add some buttercream around your cake. We're going to use a small offset spatula to smoothen that out as best you can. It doesn't need to be perfect. We're going to be covering this up anyway. You're going to pop that in the fridge and let it chill completely, about 4 to 5 hours. I like doing this overnight. And then we're going to move on to decorating and finishing off this cake. Now, I fitted the end of my piping bag with a Wilton 6B piping tip, and I filled it with some more of that green buttercream frosting. We're going to be piping lines starting at the bottom of our cactus cake all the way to the top, and this is going to give us that cool cactus, kind of cartoony cactus look. If you don't have a Wilton 6B piping tip, you can use a star tip, or you can just use some buttercream frosting and just use a fork if that's what you want to do. So once you've gone all the way around the cake, you're pretty much ready to finish this off by sticking the arms on each side of the cake and then sticking the kawaii face on top. Now, our cactus cake needs to have a flower on top, so I fitted the end of my piping bag with a Wilton 1M piping tip, and I'm going to frost a swirl of pink buttercream frosting, and that's going to give us kind of like a cool flower effect on top of his head or her head. And guys, that is pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. What do you guys think that I should kawaii next? What kind of kawaii character would you guys like to see me cake next? Let me know in the comments down below. Like I said, you're going to grab the recipe for this on my website, thescranline.com. Link for that is in the box below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love the support that you guys give me each week, and I love this community that we've built on YouTube. If you're not following me already on Instagram and Facebook, make sure you follow me there as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you all on the next episode of the Scran Line.